Welcome back to the Daily Crypto Market Update. Bitcoin closed up 1.23%. How nice and neat. And it's getting closer and closer to tagging the TBO Fast line, which is currently at $107,071 or so. Now, the real test is how will BTC react once it gets up here? Is it going to go inside of the cloud? And if it does, then it has to not just go inside the cloud, it has to push up against resistance, which is currently at about $110,000. This level of resistance has been moved. This was the original level that we were watching, and then it got pushed out here. So now we're looking at this next level that's been tested once. It's not impossible for BTC to do this. It's had a pretty good bounce of about 7% off of the lows. And RSI, Relative Strength Index, is growing. It's neutral at 50.78. More importantly, though, on-balance volume crossed above its moving average. On-balance volume is awesome because it shows cumulative volume day over day over day. And I'm using a smooth moving average here, a 21 SMA, in case you want to copy what I'm doing and what I'm using. Volume yesterday was good, but not good enough to exceed the moving average. Volume is quieted down a little bit, which isn't bad, but it's not good either. The only sign of worry that there is that we still have a TBO Close short on the 4-hour time frame, which means that I'm expecting the price to come down and touch the fast line, which is currently at $104,457. This will move though. And it's not a bad thing for it to have a little bit of a pullback. Ethereum, on the other hand, almost came down to touch the TBO fast line on the 4-hour time frame, which would close this. It's not really a terrible thing either. It's still struggling, and it got really close to tagging the fast line, really close to approaching TBO resistance here, even though this is green, which would be support, because the price is now below. See how it flips from green to red right there? Now it's resistance, and it's historical. I'm still planning on shorting Ethereum here. I have my order ready and waiting, just under 3,700. So I'm going to be shorting something like this, and I have a fairly tight stop loss as well. So I'm just looking to get an entry where I can basically sit and relax. Now, if I'm wrong, I get stopped out, I move on with my life. That's okay, because when you're going long or you're going short, you want to have something to counteract or counterbalance whatever you're doing. So I've also bought a decent amount of alts over the weekend. On Saturday, I went shopping for alts. So I'm still in the green. So if I happen to catch a good entry point here for Ethereum in terms of a short, cool. And if it actually continues to go lower, that's great. Now, there's a chance that things continue to push up higher. There's always going to be a chance that it happens. But you have to understand my reasoning is that we are very much near the end of this bull market than we are at the beginning of the bull market. Ethereum is still in strong bearish mode below the daily TBO Cloud. The slow line is still kind of pointing up, which means the macro trend is bullish. But we've seen this pattern play out so many times for Ethereum. Back over here in January and February, and then it dumped lower. Back over here, July 2024, it actually exceeded it and it went up higher only to dump lower. So I've seen this same pattern play out many times before, so that's basically what I'm banking on. Stablecoin dominance fell again yesterday, which is awesome. And it almost, it did. It wicked right into the TBO Fast line, which is great. We want to see this now close inside of the cloud. That will be a sign of bearish consolidation, which is good. We want to see combined stablecoin dominance go lower and lower, ideally to the bottom of the cloud. I do believe that that will happen. So we have this TBT bearish divergence here on the 4-hour time frame. We have a TBO Close long, and then we have our open short that's already been confirmed this morning on the 4-hour time frame. On the weekly time frame, it's starting to look, well, it's just in consolidation mode. Actually, this is bullish consolidation, just so you know. So I'm watching everything with the expectation that, yes, I like how things are looking. I want to see combined stablecoin dominance go down. And to be completely honest with you, if this does happen, my Ethereum short will get stopped out. It will happen because the price of Ethereum is going to go higher. So I'm taking a bet here on the off chance that there's going to be some sort of bounce from this area and we see more pain, more downside price action, which will cause Ethereum and Bitcoin to go lower. But again, that's what all this is. I'm betting on price action, just like all of you are. Bitcoin dominance stayed pretty much sideways. It is below the fast line though. Now this is like a very, very how do I want to say this? Like a super zoomed in way to use the TBO, and it really only works with charts that are extremely slow movers. But you can think about it like this. The price of Bitcoin dominance has remained mostly above this thick green line, which is the TBO Fast line. And then ever since last Friday, it dropped and closed below, and it stayed below. This is great. Now, the reality is that this chart is also in consolidation, but because it was bearish before and it's moving inside of the cloud to the upside, this is actually bullish consolidation. And it kind of reached the top. It didn't close above it, but it wicked above it. But anyway, the point being that the bullish uptrend could be coming to an end soon. It looks more likely for Bitcoin dominance to fall lower. Yesterday, it made a low at 59.55%. I'm expecting a lot lower. I'm expecting Bitcoin dominance to drop a lot, which means that dominance should be shifting towards others, towards TOTALE50, which got another TBO Close short, by the way, on the daily time frame yesterday. TOTALE100 got another TBO Close short. Having two of these in close proximity on the daily time frame is a big deal. Others BTC, no such luck. But the one thing to watch out for, and I'm seeing this across the board for these others charts, is that we have TBT bearish divergences on the 4-hour. Now, this does not mean that the rally is over. This just lets us know that there is a bearish divergence. The last time we got one of these was over here on the September the 12th, and we saw other dominance lose a lot. Back over here, we got two of these. Right here is premature. And we saw others dominance increase by 5%. This one was spot on, and it fell about 10%. So I'm not saying that, oh no, this is the time to panic right here, but this is why we take profit on these little moves. I mean, ever since, really back over here, since December 2024, we've seen these pinpoint the start of a reversal. So this is also why I'm sticking to my plan to short, just in case. TOTALE50 doesn't have these symbols. TOTALE100 does. And note we have these clusters over here letting us know, watch out. Even so, with a cluster, we saw the dominance move up 6% before rolling over. Saw dominance move up about 3% before rolling over. Others BTC also has TBT bearish divergence right here. So I'm looking at things, I'm excited, and I'm still expecting these dominance charts and also just others in general to do really well. But there's no guarantee of like instant up and to the right. So don't be surprised if we have a minor pullback, at least for others against BTC, which means that Bitcoin might be outperforming others in the very, very, very short term. But on the macro time frame, on the daily time frame, because we had our TBO close short here on Friday, and preceding that, a TBT bullish divergence cluster, which is a huge signal. This is enough for me to be bullish and continuing opening up my long position. So yes, I am looking at Ethereum with the idea to short it, but I'm also looking at this very expectantly with, that's a weird way to say it. I'm looking at this and I'm excited for what's going to be coming for alts. And I have a lot of them coming up today in today's video. But before I get to it, go to the description down below, to the pinned comment, check out thebettertraders.com, check out our courses, be it 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom or 2 advanced courses. Plus, we have courses on mastering assets in partnership with Kitco Media. If you're really interested in using bots and reducing the time you spend trading to less than 15 minutes a day, check out 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom. It comes with one-on-one coaching. You don't pay for upgrades. It's a one-time fee. I still can't believe that there are people that are selling courses that require you to pay a monthly fee to keep access to the course, or a yearly fee. That doesn't make sense to me. For all of you that went to university or college, you pay once and that's it. You get your degree and you're done. You can't go back. And that's the nice thing about this, is that you can go back as much as you want. So it comes with 2 strategies. One is automated trading. The other one is trend trading. And there's also A/B trading that's included in this. Plus, it comes with access to the TBO, the Trending Breakout Indicator, and a 1-month trial to the Better Traders Club. There are also links to sign up for Femex and BYDFi down below that are giving away up to 30,000 USDT in bonuses. So let's go over here to TradingView and go over to our picks. So yesterday, STRKnet had a lot of fireworks, I think you could say. Yesterday, low to the high, 48% move. The fact that STRK shot above TBO resistance here and back over here, it actually put in the highest local high that it has seen since back over here in March. If you wanted a bullish reversal signal, this is it. Does this mean that STRK is now just going to be raging and going higher and higher and never going to stop? No, I don't necessarily think so. It's not going to go up in a straight line, but this is a massive, massive start. Now, on the weekly time frame, last week, STRK closed inside of the cloud. It kind of did here too, but this is a big deal. Another big deal about the chart is that the slow line right here, which has been strong bearish for a long time, is slowly starting to flatten out. That's a good sign. We can also see volume really picking up here for STRK on the weekly. That's a big deal. Look, even this week, actually, last week did it? I have to zoom in a lot. Last week, it barely closed above the moving average, which is nuts. And right now, the blue line representing on-balance volume is above the moving average, and the moving average is doing one of these elbow joint things, which I love. This could be the start of a massive leg up for STRK, which is super duper oversold. Now, I want to give you a tip. When you're looking at these charts and you're trying to figure out, okay, where can I take profit? The reason why I love using Fibonacci retracement levels, and even this one is a little bit of a stretch, just because we got this liquidation event down here, we have a listing high. It's a little bit difficult because if we look at STRK on other coins, right, other exchanges, we're going to see different prices for the high. If we go over here to OKX, it's going to be a different high, and the listing high right here says what? 80 cents. Over here on Binance, it's all the way up to $7.71. So it's a little bit difficult to say, oh yeah, this is the Pico high. But why does it matter? Well, when we're using fib levels like this, we want to identify the high to the low. So if I were to take this exact range like this, then this is going to give me some targets. Why am I sharing this? Well, because there are two main targets that you want to watch out for. Yes, if you have the TBO, pay attention to TBO support and resistance levels, especially historical ones, especially the weekly. So about 32 cents or so is a very good target from where we are right here. But we could also use Fibonacci levels, and we want to be focusing on the 618. That would be the next target to look for, which if we're going to use this measurement, is at about 92 cents. I'm going to put a line here. This is why this is so important because, again, we have good data showing us that aside from the listing high, and if we were to completely ignore the scam wick that happened on the 10th, we get different levels here for our fibs. So what's interesting is that we get a level here right around TBO resistance just below the 382. But the main level to watch here, and this is why I have my fibs drawn this way, is this right here, this little hump that happens. This is a good target. I also want to give you another tip. If you're going to be using Fibonacci levels, or if you have access to the TBO, I never, ever, ever place buy or sell orders right at these levels. They're good suggestions. So if it's a Fibonacci level like 7476, I'm going to go down to maybe 6743, something like that. Like I don't want to be right at this level. I'd much rather be just inside of it or just above it. So like looking for a long position here on STRK, if you are waiting for a pullback, which might not happen, but maybe you have a DCA order. So maybe you want to take a position now, and just in case there's a pullback, you want to make sure that you have some dry powder ready, right? So instead of placing your order right at the line, you would just go right inside of it. That's the way I've traded for the longest time, and it works really well for me. So the reason why I do this is because I want to make sure that my orders get filled. I'm not looking to extract the maximum amount of profit. I want to walk away with profit on the off chance that the price doesn't actually go all the way up here to hit this target or this one, or even this one at the very tip top. Could you imagine holding STRK from the current price with a target of selling at 345% right smack dab on the 618, and in fact, it actually stops here, just below it? It'd feel a little bit infuriating, right? This is why I think it makes way more sense to take partial profit on the way up for a lot of positions. I'm giving away a lot of stuff because I want to help you guys make a lot of money in the weeks to come, which I think is going to be very much possible. And STRK is a great example of charts that were forgotten that everyone has just kind of given up on that are going to start waking up. This happens every single alt season. And I really cringe even at myself saying alt season, but you have to understand this happens every time. Everyone forgets about STRKnet. Everyone forgets about Litecoin. Everyone forgets about Oasis, which is insane that it's even coming back from the dead. But charts like this will wake up and they will start going crazy. They will. It just happens every single time. The best thing that you can do, if you want to find coins that haven't moved yet, use the screener that's over here. So on TradingView, I want to give you a quick little tip on this. And this is actually really, really cool. So over here in the screener, go ahead, just pick the exchange that you want. Go to the spot market this is mostly for spot, okay? Choose your quote currency, which is the currency you're going to be using to buy and to sell. So I'm using USDT on Bybit for the sake of an example. So it's going to give me 492 pairs. I can use a lot of stuff over here, a lot of filters, or I could just focus on these two things. You're going to be laughing at me thinking, why, oh, why would you want to focus on coins that have pumped so much in the last 24 hours? Well, the reality is that there's a good chance that they'll continue to push up higher and higher. Charts that are on a strong bullish uptrend usually continue that. And a lot of people struggle with these entries. This is exactly what I shared on X yesterday in my post about STRKnet pumping. I think STRKnet will continue to do well, but other coins will do the same or similar thing. The other thing you're going to want to pay attention to is volume change over the last 24 hours. Some of these might not be as helpful. This is where it's going to be more useful for you to say, okay, well, I really want to focus on coins that are between, we're going to say like $300,000, and we want to do low cap. So we'll do 3 million. Awesome. So this is going to take out a lot of the bigger caps. Now we've reduced it down to 169. Now we could say, well, I only want to see volume change that is above 500%. I want to see a lot of crazy stuff that's happening. Well, then now we have some coins to check out. So the one right here, Mode, which we're going to be looking at in a minute, the reason why this is here is because, lo and behold, volume went crazy. Volume actually pumped like gangbusters yesterday, and it also pumped 74%. The interesting thing about charts like this is that you would be surprised to see a lot of these charts that have been absolutely trashed and oversold. All of a sudden, they just have an amazing comeback recovery. Mode has already done this, by the way. This is actually this is perfect. I didn't even know this was going to be. I don't plan a lot of the stuff I talk about. Not to say that I'm unprepared, but this proves my point way better than me trying to find the right charts and like doing all this stuff. I want you to pay attention to this. See how volume all of a sudden just started to stay consistently outperforming the yellow moving average here, going up more and more and more. By the time this happened here on the 18th of November, look at what the price does here. It breaks above the previous highs, and then a chart like this, Mode, just goes absolutely crazy, pumping up 300%. Seeing a drastic change in volume is the first start of a rally, a recovery rally. And the reason why I love using the TBO indicator is that it's already given me some great targets. I always want to use the longest TBO support and resistance levels for targets. So Mode has a target here at 1825 and over here at about 3000, okay? So the other thing to keep in mind as well with these charts that have been massively oversold is that you want to pay attention to the volume. The 30-day moving average of volume has been about $140,000 for Mode, okay? This is completely applicable, by the way, to STRK because STRK had basically no volume. And look what happened. Volume started to come in and come in and come in. We had a big pump, and this one will most likely continue on the uptrend. Why? Because volume is the real show of the votes, and it will help to propel the price up higher, okay? So STRK is a much larger market cap, okay? Now, let's keep going. So the reason why all of these are light blue over here is because all of these are TBO breakouts, either on the daily time frame or the 4-hour time frame. So STRK actually has 3 TBO breakouts. It has a perfect 3-in-a-row cluster. The chart has had a little bit of a sell-off after tagging the 236. I think it's still game. We'll see what happens, but I'm expecting it to go up higher. BARD is still here. See, TBO breakout cluster has a big push up, above the 236, and it gets rejected back here to the fast line, only to be moving up more. DCR, now this one had a great TBO breakout, moved back to the fast line, had a nice bounce 52%, and it's come back from the grave. It's insane. On the daily time frame, it still has a breakout. It hasn't seen the other two yet, though, but volume is still okay. Litecoin, I still expect and believe Litecoin will be a very, very strong performer in the weeks to come. MINA, on the 4-hour time frame, still TBO breakouts, no response yet. Doesn't discount the fact that it could still happen. Rose, same thing. XMR, crazy pump, and it shot all the way up to 469 on Sunday night. On the daily time frame, we have 3 TBO breakouts. It's not done yet, but it definitely pumped too high, too hard, too fast. So it's just having a breather. Aerodrome on the 4-hour time frame has printed a TBO breakout, which is awesome. And this is on a big move, so it doesn't look like it's going to be a topping signal. It has to move above. Oh, no, it's done. Yep. Okay, cool. Well, this is the one that we've been waiting on for a while to go up to this target of $1.50. Uniswap. Okay. How many of you use Uniswap? I mean, it's still widely used. The volume is decent here, but this coin in itself does nothing. All of a sudden, though, pop, volume is just absolutely insane. And then we have a, 42% move. People, you got to pay attention to the narratives that are here. So that means if Uniswap is pumping, then other swapping protocols might be pumping as well. Try to connect the dots to see what are the similarities here. So like Uniswap, so that means SushiSwap should be pumping as well. And lo and behold, not as big, but SushiSwap had a nice 27% day yesterday, wick to wick. And it printed a TBO Close short, which is what all these orange flags are right here. IP story protocol is still slow to wake up. Nothing big changing yet. But on the 4-hour time frame, we have these 2 TBO Close shorts. I am still expecting IP to go up. Back up to, some crazy levels. I know. But again, a lot of the charts that people have forgotten about, like IP, Mantle, which also has TBO Close shorts on the 4-hour time frame, Pump as well, TBO Close short on the 4-hour time frame, XRP, this one is a TBO Close short on the daily. A lot of these charts, I have a vendetta against XRP. I can't help it. But I'm going to cheer you guys on if you're making money trading it. It's great. But the expected behavior, by the way, I need to say this. With the TBO Close short, the orange diamond is that we expect the price to come down and close it by tagging the fast line, which is this thick pink line. On the hourly time frame, just so you know, there's a TBD bearish divergence cluster. The last time we got one of these was back over here on the 26th of October, where we saw it kind of chug sideways and then it fell in total about 20%. That's a crazy sell-off. That's usually not normal. But we also saw TBT bearish divergences here back in October, and we saw it have a pullback of 17%. So just keep this in the back of your mind. There's a chance that we might get a drop for XRP, maybe. But the last couple times this happened, it was on. It was spot on. Doesn't mean it has to happen, but just pay attention to that. HBAR, Hedera hash graph, we got another TBO Close short, nice 9% move. So this is the expected behavior. We tag the fast line, and then the price comes down here to our support level. That's always fun. But look, here we are again. It really needs to push above long-standing overhead resistance, which it will. And once it does, it'll probably do something really similar to Aerodrome, where it just starts to rally and go up here to TBO resistance. So that's what I'm waiting on for HBAR, something very similar. But in this case, it'll be up to about 29 cents. Algorand, TBO Close short, closing inside of the cloud. It's now in bullish consolidation mode. The graph, GRT, the second TBO Close short, which is awesome. Now we're into these green flags. These are all bullish signals. So Aave, as much as I don't want to trade this one anymore, we had 3 TBT bullish divergence clusters. The third one printed on Sunday. Yesterday, it moved up 7%. It's moving up closer to the 618 level. Again, this is a very important level. It lost it big time, and it tested and it got rejected over here in late October, tested it again here early November, and here it is again. Cardano, ADA, has 2 TBT bullish divergences. We're waiting for it to go inside of the cloud. API 3, TBT bullish divergence on the daily. Dash, this is one I'm still waiting on to do a TBO springboard bounce to go right up there to TBO resistance at 103. Marinade, ridiculous, because I literally just talked about this one yesterday. I said it has TBT bullish divergences and a cluster, and it's holding this support range that's been in place for a long time on the daily time frame. You can see that it's basically, we can see all these long green lines right here letting us know this is support, this is support, this is support. That's a crazy, crazy move. SYND, SYND, this was a request, but also a chart that I shared with people that are in the Better Traders Club, the Pro tier, because I've just been watching volume, just checking every now and again. And it was really weird because yesterday in the afternoon, I have to go to Monday. There we go. I saw all this business happening, and I was so confused because if we look at the price, this is why the scanner is so powerful, and I've already made lots of videos about this. One thing to pay attention to is, again, an increase in volume. So what happened over here on SYND was weird. Look at all this volume increasing, but the price is doing absolutely nothing. In a 5-minute period, 2.1 million traded on SYND, where if we look at it on every other exchange, it's doing absolutely nothing. What happened after that? SYND popped up at 20%. It's given it away, but it's doing a lot of crazy stuff. Isn't that weird? Look at this. And then volume just drops off right there. Done. I'm done playing with you. And it drops, it goes quiet. Pay attention to volume, guys. Crazy. So I actually expect SYND to have another follow-up move, but very irregular volume should always get your attention that something is happening behind the scenes. It's very, very, very weird. Okay. Moving on. ALCH, crazy pump yesterday, 30%. That is a wild, wild move. We have breakouts too on the 4-hour, but that volume is crazy. Tron has a second TBT bullish divergence. Same thing with Stellar Lumens, XLM, AVAX, TBT bullish divergence. Pepe has 2 TBT bullish divergences here. These are the first ones we've seen since back over here in early September, which led to a nice little rally up of, drum roll please, 21%? Not bad. But all these charts are still strong bearish. They are. Cake, which is another swapping protocol like SushiSwap, like Uniswap, except Cake is on the BNB network, hasn't pumped, which is interesting. So this might be the next one to go. Pendle, TBT bullish divergence, MYX, which was a darling back over here because it just went absolutely insane, up 20,000%. Now we have TBT bullish divergences, letting us know it might get another leg up higher. And Zebek network yesterday up 16% with a TBT bullish divergence. Now, of course, not everything is rosy and rose-colored, I guess you could say. Solana has TBT bearish divergence cluster on the hourly time frame. Again, it's a week time frame. The hourly is not as strong as the daily. The longer the time frame, the stronger the signal. So we also have a TBT bullish divergence in progress here for Solana, which is exciting. But again, it's strong bearish. So if it gets a push up higher, we got to be cautious and reserved about it. It still has TBO resistance here at 173. So it has to push above the 0.5, has to push just up here to TBO Fast line at 175. So it has a lot of headway, and there's a bearish reversal signal that's flashing. Zcash printed its, what is this, like the gajillionth TBT bearish divergence, but it's letting us know there might be a deeper pullback to come. I don't think it's necessarily it. Again, I still think that Zcash could go up higher. It could go up closer to like $900. But we are getting some signals. ICP, this one hasn't bounced back yet. We need to watch volume, which has been falling. We saw volume go absolutely nuts on Saturday, which is crazy. On the 4-hour time frame, TBT bearish divergence, 2 TBO close longs. That's not good. Volume and RSI have also been dying off a lot. I already made a video on the Coin Bureau trading channel giving you guys tips on where to start taking profits and what to be looking out for. And anytime you see 4-hour RSI putting in lower highs, it's letting you know it's running out of steam, it's running out of steam, it's running out of steam. Same thing over here for Zen, Horizon, and also printed a TBO close long, which means that we expect the price to go up and tag the fast line to close it. Charts to keep an eye on, near. This one had some crazy volume, which has died down a lot. It has failed to break above the 382 and historic, actually no, it's active TBO resistance. So I'm curious to see, is this one going to have enough energy to push up higher? It doesn't have to move that much, but it did push up like crazy in a couple of days, 54%. 2Z, this one is still on my watch list. I still think that 2Z could perform really well. Melania, pumped literally out of nowhere. So that means, of course, Trump probably pumped too, which it did. Mode had a great pump yesterday, 73%, and it's in the process of printing a TBO Close short today. Now this one is going to be coming out of left field. Toncoin has been a chart that I just hate. It's been a real pain in the butt to watch it just absolutely tank. But when I just shared all that information about STRKnet, ICP, all this stuff, coins that everyone has forgotten about and everyone hates, isn't this the time of year, isn't this the season where we see these charts absolutely pump out of nowhere? Now, the only problem that I have with that is that Toncoin is admittedly pretty insane when it comes to volume. It's not as low volume as STRKnet comparatively. We have like the 30-day moving average for volume is 9.1 billion. Sorry, 9.1 million. Woo. If we go over here to STRKnet, it's up at the top. It's at 17 billion. Oh, sorry, 17 billion. Good grief, Aaron. Come on. 11 million. Oh, okay, so it's actually on par. That's crazy. Okay, well, then it seems to me like Ton actually has a chance to pop, which is nuts. Now, I'm not saying it's going to. I don't see anything that's happening. It's like, oh yeah, this one's going to move. But I'm thinking more along the lines of logic. If we're seeing all these older coins that people don't really use, they don't really talk about, no one really cares about, just pumping out of nowhere again. Uniswap, Pancake Swap, and also the other one. I can't remember which one it was. I want to find it though, because it's bothering me. Sushi Swap. If those can pump, then certainly Ton can pump too. Now, on to some requests. If you have coins that you are really interested in me checking out, leave a comment down below. And also don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, share this video with others so that way you can help me reach my target or my goal of hitting 100,000 subs this year. So ZK had a crazy push on Saturday, ahead of the market actually, on the 1st. It moved up almost 200% and it's fallen back a little bit. Don't worry though, because look, volume consistently is outperforming the moving average. That is a good sign of strength. RSI hasn't absolutely tanked here either. On the 4-hour time frame, it's still looking okay. It's just in consolidation right here. The fact that it's not just dropping more and more and more shows that people, traders, entities are wanting to buy it. Even the move up 18% over here, which is very positive over the weekend, shows that there is support for this newly elevated price, which is surprising. MMT liquidated a lot of short sellers after it pumped from basically 10 cents all the way up here, 4,330%. And it absolutely just crashed, right? So what I'll be looking for next with a chart like this is for volume to start outdoing the moving average, which is going to take a little bit of time. And also be looking for TBT bullish divergences on the 4-hour or TBO close shorts. It's going to be a long time until we see something like that happen. Now, we've already seen on the hourly TBT bullish divergences. There's a cluster over here, which led to a 30% move, and we have another one recently. So maybe we might see another move here with MMT. The main thing, though, is that it has resistance here. So this is the level to beat. I don't expect it to have another follow-up pump right up to this level. It's usually going to be like half of that or less than. Bonk on the daily time frame has these two TBT bullish divergences, but no push inside of the cloud. So it's still strong bearish. Volume is not picking up, although on balance volume is back above the moving average, even though it's kind of flattening out, but it's not looking strong bullish per se. Pengu, similar story. Nothing really bullish to report here on the 4-hour time frame. It has one TBO close short, but that's it. Tau, volume has fallen off a lot over the weekend. On balance volume is still bullish. RSI lost a lot. We can get rid of that. It did put in a, what is this, 33, 39? 33, yeah, it put in a lower low, just slightly so. Yeah, I'm writing a children's book for trading. But the TBO close long here, it still has to be closed. So we're waiting on that. I don't think it's necessarily done, but it's just taking a breather for now. So there's nothing really else to say about it. XPIN, this one went absolutely crazy in October, moving up 800%. TBT bearish divergence on the 2nd of November, massive crash on Tuesday. But again, it's amazing that the price just kind of holds these levels. Is it not crazy to anyone else? Like, this is nuts. So even though it's fallen so far, it's still showing some semblance of support. There have been some minor buy signals here, but these are just quick scalping signals, but nothing on the 4-hour to say, oh yeah, it's going to be raging from here. Dent, this is a really old coin. If I'm not mistaken, Dent is like crazy, crazy old. From 2019. Yeah. But again, the power of new listings, right place, right time, charts like this, just pumping 10,000%. So will it do the same thing again? Probably not. I mean, I look at this and I see a euthanasia coaster. So you see this big pump goes to make a support. There's a little higher pump right there, but lesser. So the next one will be lesser, maybe up there. So we'll see. But it lost significant support for sure on the weekly time frame. Pi. So this would be another one where it's like people kind of like this one. I don't really know. I can't really get a gauge on it, to be honest. Not Plian. Oh, we don't have anything else? Okay, that's fine. We'll just use this one. I don't know if this is the oldest chart, but it's fallen a lot from this listing high over here, which is insane. So charts like this that people have forgotten about, these ones can come back from the grave, literally coming back from the grave. That's been massively oversold. The things we want to be watching for is volume consistently outperforming the moving average, which it's not doing. If anything, it's still kind of flailing like a dead fish on the beach. Okay, but it just needs a little bit of volume, and this thing will pick up and perk up real fast and go right back up. Linnea, similar story. I'm amazed this one didn't actually fall lower, to be honest. So we've been watching this one for a while. We can see RSI is starting a new trend, which is a good sign here after making a lower. Actually, no, let me see. No, it's higher. This is 1819. This is 1916. That's good. So it's neutral. On balance volume looks like it wants to do a bullish cross above the moving average. Volume is starting to pick up a little bit. It's just a new listing. So anything can happen here. Usually these charts are going to wake up and things are going to feel really good once the whole market starts to rage, which I do expect to have happen. So yes, we have some CME gaps that are still open for Bitcoin, still open for Ethereum. Yes, I'm still planning on shorting Ethereum, but the reality is that others dominance, TOTALE50.D, TOTALE100.D, others BTC, these are all showing some really bullish signals that I'm super excited about. So I am still holding the expectation that we will have a selective altcoin season, but pay attention to the narratives. Identify coins that are pumping, and find other coins that are similar in that ecosystem, in that narrative, in that category, what have you. Okay. And before you go, I'm all over the place today. Good grief. What an amazing video this has been. Watch this video. I'm going to go. Until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.